Hey everyone, it's Danny from Danny with the Planny on YouTube and on Instagram. I'm here with my first ever mini session. This one's on tilted boxes. I'm hoping to do some more of these as I do reels for Instagram, and I was thinking I could just reuse the same videos. That's why the view on this one is a little bit off because it was shot horizontal or vertically instead of horizontally for YouTube. YouTube, you have to shoot the things horizontally. For Instagram, you have to shoot them with your camera vertically. So unfortunately, it is a little like wonky, but bear with me as I do this, and I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy it because I've always had requests of plan with me's, but I'm not there yet with my channel. So working towards it, but I thought I would do these in the meantime. So in order to do tilted boxes, how I do them is I lay down, or I use the backing of an old sticker sheet, usually a full box, and I cut them into the size of the squares of a regular full box one, and then I put my new sticker sheet of full boxes on those, and that way I can lay them out and see what kind of pattern I want for my tilted boxes. Something else that I do a lot when I do the tilted boxes is I make sure that I put the floral boxes, ones that have more floral, underneath. So I put them on the bottom layer, and then I'll put ones with scenic on top. Another thing that I like to try to do is use an alternate of, like around the tilted boxes, I like to use an alternate of something foiled and something non-foiled. I saw that brush stroke technique that I used at the bottom of the box on the third box over on the right from Georgina from Butterfly Plans on Instagram. She's from, I think, London, and she's really, really creative, and I've been enjoying like seeing some of her spreads on Instagram. So if you're ever wanting inspiration, she's a great one to look at too. So this is torn paper washi, and I've been loving using torn paper washi with tilted boxes because I can use any kind of pop of foil in any kind of shape that I want. So it's just really customizable and really easy to work with. So that's what I have been enjoying. But as you can see, I have that brush stroke from the kit and then the florals, but in between those two, I put some foil with the washi paper. Paper Trail Plans and the Pretty Pink Co. are my two favorite alcohol ink swatches that I use from those shops. I also have PR codes with a lot of the shops that I'm mentioning, so check the captions below to see my codes. All right, one of the things that I learned from Lustrous Plan is that if you push down the washi, then it creates a more vibrant color. And the script planner, I think her name is Amy, who is on YouTube and Instagram, use the bone tool. I forget exactly what they're called, but I also use that, or I picked some up too. And if you check out my Instagram and click on the link on my page, I have a list of all of the most commonly used tools that I use for my planning. Excuse me, for my planning. So make sure to check those out. This from the Pretty Pink Co. is like one of my new favorites to add like a splash of foil. It's such like a organic kind of like journaly type item that I just have fallen in love with, and I'm really hopeful that she'll come out with some bigger ones, or somebody will come out with some bigger ones in that style. So this is a painting knife that helps lift up the tools. That's also on my Instagram feed. They're just really great for lifting up the stickers, and I use them a lot to hold them back too while I'm putting something underneath. And I learned that trick originally from Tara from the Sticker Garden. She does have a YouTube channel, but she's kind of taken a break from that for right now, and she's over on Instagram as well as the Sticker Garden. Again, that foil, it's again sorry, I said again twice, but the where I'm doing the foil, non-foil, foil. So I wanted to really put a pop of foil in there just to kind of create that pattern. It's just something that I think is visually nice to have the different so there's not just too much foil in one spot. It helps separate out the foil. In this corner, I knew I wanted to use brush strokes, but I didn't want to use the brush strokes corners that I got from Panda Bird Design, and you'll see them here shortly. I didn't want to put them on all of the corners of the tilted boxes. So in order to cover up one of the corners, I wanted to put these foiling elements that are also journaling elements on that corner that you see me putting it on. So I knew that I wanted to do that, and it's a great way to cover up a corner is to cover it up either with a floral or some deco, or like here I put the foil on there. So that is just one way that I try to cover up some of my areas that I'm not going to put foil or put a design, because I've also used that trick when I'm fully covering the outside of the tilted boxes with some kind of foiling divider or box cover, not box cover, but like layer or liner, I think is what some people are calling it. So just a tip that I kind of have been using if I don't want to use up all of the dividers or whatever that I'm using. I try to cover up the corners. I also feel like it looks more organic that way too, in my personal opinion. I wanted to put a little bit of foil or pop a color underneath, so I put a alcohol ink swatch there. I also try to be really cautious of where I'm putting these alcohol ink swatches, so that I make sure that the colors are kind of contrasting with whatever is going on in the tilted boxes. Now I will say there is some pink in this one, so I think I hesitated, but I also was looking holistically at the tilted boxes and seeing that I needed a pink swatch in that spot. So, because I had already put the tan one up and I had already put a blue one. Here are the brushstroke corners that I have recently fallen in love with. I just think this is such a cute and just, I don't know, interesting way to add that foil around the full boxes and to make them stand out individually instead of them all kind of melting into the page. It just kind of gives some dimension for those full boxes. Something else that I do a lot is I try to cover, like this is me covering up that corner again, but going back to what I was saying, something else that I really try to do is make sure that I do like layering of it. So I start on one side and then I kind of work my way around, and then I will go in and do the day-to-day, and then whatever spaces are naturally left over from the day-to-day, I will try to go back in and fill with other things. So it's kind of a process throughout the whole spread that I am layering these tilted boxes. And so don't feel like you have to do it all at one sitting. Just think about it as a process. You have the foundational layer, and then you have the next layer that you're trying to do, and then potentially an even third layer. So with those florals, I noticed that it wasn't going to cover the whole area that I wanted to, so I took some of the individual florals and made them extend down into the full box so that I could cover up more of the space that I wanted to cover up. As you can see, I'm finishing up the corners with those foiled brush strokes from Panda Bird Design. I really like how that turned out. I ended up using just 4 of them. Here, I thought I wanted to use like a scalloped, or I wanted something in that area. So I started off using a scallop, and you'll see that I end up not particularly liking how this turned out. I also wanted to use these as well because, again, I feel like I've gotten away from using these. They used to be something that I brought into almost like all my spreads like 2 years ago. And so I wanted to bring these. These are like the mandalas. They're the mini versions, so I thought I would try to bring them in. And then these butterflies are also from Hello Petite Paper, and they came from one of her Petite Tuesdays where she does deco, and I really enjoy her Petite Tuesdays because it's a lot of like extra deco that you can pull into spreads. So this one just happened to actually really match very well with the spread, and it is a Hello Petite paper spread kit, I mean, anyways, so it makes sense that it would match. But yeah, so this is, I think, the last thing that I do before I end up pulling that whole thing up. I just didn't think that it really added a whole lot and blended more with the full boxes and kind of made the full boxes stand out. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm trying to say, but I just didn't really care for how it was accentuating or accenting. It wasn't accenting, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The full boxes the way that I wanted them to be accented. So I pulled all that up, and then I brought that, I was gonna say flower, I brought that butterfly back in. I had not used any green swatches, and there's green in the kit. They're not a whole lot in the boxes and labels. I don't remember quite at this moment, but there is in the full boxes some green, so I thought I'd pull that color in, and it would go really well in that space because I feel like it contrasts that full box that's there, the blue swatch that I had already pulled in, and then it makes that butterfly pop, and then the brush stroke, the peachy colored brush stroke, that I feel like that also, all those colors kind of work really well together. I kind of really like how I layered this foil with the butterfly. I think it's a foil seal. So I kind of have it poke out between the butterfly wings and the behind, like, so I put it behind it, but I also wanted it to peek out just a little bit. So I very carefully try to maneuver it and weave it through. It's just one of those little details that I probably notice and nobody else notices, but it just kind of makes me happy when I do those things. So, and that's really what this whole thing is about, is like finding your joy, doing things that make you happy. And so that's why I do a lot of this, obviously. A lot of times when I'm doing like little accents like this, I try to alternate like the way that they're angled. So I noticed that I was having those two butterflies kind of going in the same direction, and so I decided to change the flow so it seemed a little bit more organic and to me. So as I was mentioning before, this is just a process. So I had just finished laying down the foundation, put in the labels and day-to-day, and that's where then after that I add more and more. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you have questions, let me know. Also, let me know what you think about this format and kind of doing like these mini sessions. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye, guys.